know basketball and the NBA. It's time for you to prove it. Welcome everyone. 20 questions, getting harder after every single question. Can you get a perfect score? Let's find out. Welcome back everybody. Today we are continuing the Can You Answer series, where I'm going to ask you, can you answer these basketball questions? More specifically, NBA. So not overseas or anything like that. So let's start with the very first question. And because it's the easy question, it's going to be a very, very easy question. What does NBA stand for? Is it a trick question? Who knows? Most likely not. Okay. While you're thinking about that, how are you all doing? Hope you're doing well. If you're also wondering, there will be no question that's biased like what is the best team, because obviously the answer would be, but there is no question like that today. But if there will be, that is the correct answer. So the more you know. Okay, easy question. Let's just get out of the way. Answers are locked. The answer is National Basketball Association. National Basketball Association. So, a little fact. Technically, it was not always known as the NBA. It was known as the BAA, which was the Basketball Association of America. And so it was known as the BAA, but it was merged with the MBL to create the NBA, is what it's saying here. Interesting. Well, to create what we now call the NBA. Cool. Alright, question number 2. How many teams are currently in the NBA? How many teams are currently in the NBA? And can you name every single team? I'm just kidding. Imagine though. Actually, can you? That'll be interesting. Maybe I'd do a video myself of trying to name every single team. I don't think I would be able to. Or I would, but it would take a long time, I think. Because I feel like there's going to be a couple of teams that just slip your mind. And what happens if I say an old team name? Like Charlotte Bobcats or Vancouver Grizzlies. They're not in the league, so I don't know why I said that. Answers are locked. The number of teams currently in the NBA is 30. Which is a very, very even number. I like that. There's 30 teams. 29 of them are American. One of them is the best one. It's the Canadian one. Apparently the most recent expansion team was in 2004, which was the Charlotte Bobcats, and are now known as the Charlotte Hornets. That's a long time ago. That's 22 years ago. Like if you look at another league like NHL, which I would like to do a video on, they have teams like Seattle Kraken, Vegas Golden Knights that have come recently. Basketball has not had a new team in a long time. I feel like they should. Maybe a Vegas team. Maybe another Canadian team. You never know. Alright, question number 3. Which team is based in LA, Los Angeles, and they wear purple and gold? They are based in LA and they wear purple and gold. There are 2 teams. There's your hint. I will give hints every once in a while like usual. If you answer after the hint, you get 0.5 points. Otherwise, you get the full point if you log in before the hint. Which team is based in LA, Los Angeles, and wears purple and gold? The colors of royalty. Answers are locked. The answer is the LA or Los Angeles Lakers. Better than the Clippers. I didn't say it. You said it. I didn't say it. Apparently they have won 17 NBA championships, which is tied for the most. And their first... Oh, is that going to give a hint for a future question? I don't think so. Their first was in 1949. And their most recent one was 2020. Alright, question number 4. Who is known as His Airness? His Airness. His Airness. And after you answer that, let me know what you think or what you call him. What is your name for him? Depending on which side of history you're on, you may have different opinions and names for him. This one should be an easy one. And I will give a hint. Even if you don't watch basketball or the NBA and you're not a fan, you can probably guess this person's name. There's a couple of names out there that I feel like everyone or a lot of people around the world will know. One of them is correct. Who would be known as His Airness? Answers are locked. Alright. The answer is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan. Who is, depending on who you ask, the greatest of all time. Some people will say LeBron James. Some will say Kobe. Some will say Shaq. I don't know if anyone would say Shaq. Greatest of all time. Maybe. Yeah. Fun fact, in case you don't know, Michael Jordan won 6 NBA titles from 1991 to 1993, and then 1996 to 1998. And then he went to play baseball, and then he came back. It's a big history. And apparently, he was Finals MVP all 6 years, which is outrageous. Basically, he brought Chicago to the championship by himself. Not really, but he was the best player. So arguably, he was the main reason why they won those 6 times. Question number 5. What team did Stephen Curry spend his entire NBA career so far with? And how many years? For a bonus question. How many years? And with which team? Steph Curry. Steph Curry better than LeBron James? Is he better than Kobe? Michael Jordan? No. Not better than... Oh, you know what? I'm not going to start. But he's not better than all of them. I'll say that. He's not better than all of them. Alright. Easy question as well. Answers are locked. The answer is the Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors. He started in 2009 when he was drafted, and he won 4 championships. 2015, 2017, 2018, 2022. He could have won in 2019, but some team just was too good. And he won 2 MVP awards. So based on stats, he's not better than Jordan, but the debate. Alright, we're going to the medium category with one of the easiest questions I could ask. How many minutes are in a regulation NBA game? This is too easy. Why is this question here? It's too easy. How many minutes in a regulation not including overtime. Answers are locked. No hints. No hints at all. The answer is 48. 48. 48. 48. 48. How many times? No, how many quarters? That makes no sense because quarters means 4. Anyway, 4 quarters. 12 minutes each. Apparently they started this in 1946. Interesting. So would they change that? Probably not. It'll be interesting to see if they change it to like 60 minutes. The stats would probably be insane. Now you'll have people scoring like 100 a game. Question number 7. Which NBA team plays its home games at Madison Square Garden? Madison Square Garden. Which team plays their home games? So which team is from the place where Madison Square Garden is? No hints, because even if you don't like basketball, there's concerts there. It's a pretty well-known stadium. What is the answer? Answers are locked. The answer is the New York Knicks. New York Knicks. Who are actually doing pretty well this year. And now they're not. But they won the NBA Cup. What's it called? The cup, the random cup that they do now. Alright. Question. Oh no. Extra fact, sorry. The extra fact is the New York Knicks were one of the original teams. I don't know if they were named the same, but they were one of the original teams. And they won 2 championships. 1970 and 1978. 1973. So around the same sort of period. And since then, none. But I can't complain, because I'm a Maple Leafs fan, and we haven't won since almost 60 years ago. 59 years or so. Still going strong. Let's go. Alright. Maybe New York will win this year. Who knows? Question number 8. Which NBA player won the Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times? So that award, as you could probably guess, is awarded to the most or the best defensive player in the whole entire league for that year. So which player won 4 times one of the best defensive players of all time? Because it is the most in history. No other player has been able to do so. And I love players like that. We look too much at offense and scoring. Someone dropping 40 points a game, but someone who has 10 blocks, 20 rebounds, isn't really seen as a great player, which I think is wrong. Defense matters. Alright, is your answer? No, you know what? For 0.5 points, if you're still confused, here's my hint. If you know, you know. Alright, if you previously answered and you're now changing your answer because of that hint, 0.5 points. Alright, answers are locked. Here we go. The NBA player that won the Defensive Player of the Year award 4 times is Dikembe Mutombo. Dikembe Mutombo, who is very, very famous for doing this. Who was it? Was it against Jordan? I don't remember who it was. Oh, I really want to know. Okay, let me check. Okay, so he did do it to Michael Jordan, but the most famous one was Clarence Weatherspoon, it says. So, but he did do it to Jordan, which is kind of crazy. Alright, next question. Question number 9. Which player is nicknamed The King. The King. Who is the King? Which is a pretty darn cool nickname, by the way. Imagine being called the King. Here comes the King. Oh my gosh, it's the King. Pass me the ball, the King. Okay, but I don't think they call him that to his face. Alright, which player's nickname the King? For 0.5 points, I will give you a hint. It's one of the names I've already mentioned today. Not much of a hint, but there you go. Which player is nicknamed the King? The King. The King. And I honestly think they called him this for a lot of his career. So it's not even like at the end of his career, they're all like, he's the King. Let's give him some respect. They give him respect early, which is kind of interesting. Answers are locked. The answer is LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. LeBron James. Who honestly is my favorite player of all time, especially to watch. I would say Kobe, but there's no question about this. Maybe in a future quiz it will be. Kobe did drop 81 points on the Raptors once, so I can't forgive that man. I'm just kidding. No, he deserved it. We were a bad team as well. Alright, next question. Question number 10. And speaking of Kobe, what team drafted Kobe Bryant in 1996? 1996. Which team drafted Kobe in 1996? Who could it be? Which team drafted in 1996? Also, I feel like I will accept two answers. And not the two that you're thinking. If that makes sense. Okay, I can't give any hints away. I already gave a hint. Oh, you know what? I will give a hint for 0.5 points. It's not who you think it is. What team drafted Kobe in 1996? It's not the team you think it is. I'm sure there's Kobe Bryant fans out there that are like, this is easy. Then you have people like me who's like, I never knew that. Alright, answers are locked. The last question in the medium category is, which team drafted Kobe Bryant in 1996? Charlotte Hornets. The Charlotte Hornets. But were they named the Bobcats? Because they switched, right? From Bobcats to the Hornets. That was recent, no? Oh no, sorry, they left and then they came back. Yeah, because they expanded in 2004. I remember that. Yeah. Alright. No, Nelson. Yeah, am I crazy? I think they came back. Anyway, Charlotte Hornets. Maybe I'm crazy. Anyway, it wasn't the Lakers. He was apparently traded on draft night to the Lakers. So he never played for Charlotte. Imagine trading who? I don't know what the trade was, but there's no good reason to trade a player like that. That's outrageous. Kobe went on to win 5 championships with LA. More than Curry. 1 under Michael Jordan. Charlotte really threw. They threw their team under the bus. Alright. Question number 11 is in the hard category. I think it's easy because I feel like this is one of the most asked questions, trivia questions, for NBA and basketball. the question is, who holds the NBA record for most points scored in a single game? I want to be rude and be like, you have to give me the amount of points and the player's name. But that's not the question. So if you just tell me the player's name, that's fine. Okay, I'll give you 0.5 bonus points if you tell me how many points he scored. And then another 0.5 points if you tell me what year it happened. If you tell me the exact month and day, you could get 5 bonus points. That's outrageous. That's a lot. I don't think you really, unless you really memorize that. Alright, answers are locked. Here is the answer. The one who holds the NBA record for most points scored in a single game. This is one game. Wilt Chamberlain. Not much evidence of this game apparently is out there. At least not video evidence or something else. It's hotly debated. Like saying we never went to the moon. Who knows? And he scored 100 points, which is disgusting for 2 reasons. 1, did he not pass to his teammates? And 2, imagine having one player score that many points against you. Like Kobe did 81 to Toronto, and that's already scarring us, for life. Imagine 100 points. My goodness. And it happened on March 2nd, 1962. So 64 years ago. And it has not been beaten ever since. A couple of people have gotten 80 points, but not 100 points. That's actually kind of crazy. That's a lot of points. It makes me tired just thinking about all those points. Imagine all that running. Alright, question number 12. Which franchise has won the most NBA championships? I feel like this is also an easy question. But I feel like maybe my bias in my knowledge is maybe for just random facts. Some people who just watch may not fully remember some of these facts. Which franchise has won the most? And I'll give a full bonus point if you tell me how many they have won. Oh, wait. Hold up, wait a minute. I'm going to change this question because previously we said the Lakers had 17 and they're tied for most of all time. So technically, the Lakers are not a valid answer for this question. I want the other team. The Lakers have 17. This team also has 17. But which team is this? It's not the Lakers. A little confusing. But technically, 2 people are tied, or 2 teams are tied. I will give you a bonus. Here's where the bonus point comes in. If you can tell me how many years in a row did this team win? How many consecutive years in a row did they win? Out of the 17, how many were won back to back to back to back to back? Which is known as the longest dynasty in NBA history. That might have given you even more hint. The longest dynasty in NBA history. Answers are locked. The franchise that has won the most NBA championships is the Boston Celtics, the arch rival of the LA Lakers. They won 17 championships and they have won 8 in a row from 1959 to 1966, which is absolutely disgusting. Imagine 8 years and it's the same team winning. You have teams now that do maybe 2, 3 in a row, and you're already like, we gotta stop these guys. They can't just keep going. Back then, 8 years in a row. That's crazy. Alright, question number 13. What year was the NBA founded? I like this question. When was it first founded? What year? Now, originally, the NBA was known as the BAA, Basketball Association of America, right? That's what we said earlier. Let me see. Yeah. Then they merged with the NBL in 1949. I'm not talking about modern NBA, I'm talking about the very, very first. So when was BAA founded? So the start of all of this, when was BAA founded? And this will be before they merged with NBL to create the NBA in 1949. So what year was BAA founded? Bum, bum, bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, 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 bum. Your hint is it's before 1949, which is not really a hint. Alright, answers are locked. The year that the NBA was founded, or the BAA, was 1946. 1946. And then 3 years later, they merged with the NBL to create the NBA. The more you know. Question number 14. Which player has won the most NBA MVP awards? Now, we're not talking finals MVP. As we know, Jordan had 6. We're talking about the NBA MVP awards. So for the entire season, who was the most valuable player for the entire season, not just the NBA Finals? Who has won the most? And then a bonus point for how many did they win? So technically, you can get 2 full points. It's a juicy question. Which player has won the most NBA MVP awards? Answers are not locked. Here's a hint. No, I can't give a hint. That is too specific. Can I give a crazy hint? No, because it's a 2-pointer. I can't give a hint. Alright, answers are locked. The answer is the player who won the most NBA MVP awards is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the LA legend. And also, I think Milwaukee Bucks, right? Did he start in Milwaukee? And the number of MVP awards that he has won is 6. Just like Jordan's 6 finals, he was 6 season MVPs. It was 1971, 72, 74, 76, 77, 1980. And he won 6 championships to tie Michael Jordan. Great player as well. Kareem's one of the greatest of all time. Alright, question 15, last of the hard category, and then we go into the very, very hard questions. Here we go. I hope you're doing well. Let's find out if we can continue this streak. What team ended the Golden State Warriors' 73 wins and 9 loss season by beating them in the NBA Finals? This is the greatest NBA Finals of all time. At least in my opinion. No, I lied. Toronto won 2019. That was the best. Second best was this one. I think from an outside perspective, I think from like the random, more neutral fan, this was the best. It was crazy. And it was very, very enjoyable to watch. Which team won? There's no hints. This is somewhat recent history, so you should know it. Actually, no. Here's a hint. The 73-9 season was in 2016. That's answer hint. It was the 2016 NBA Finals. So if you know who won in 2016, you could probably answer this question. Alright, what team ended the Golden State Warriors 73-9 season by beating them in the finals? The one, the only, the king, Cleveland Cavaliers, LeBron James. What made this even more impressive was that they were down 3-1 in the series, and one loss would just result in them going home. And I don't remember if they were the first team to come back from being down 3-1, or just the fact that it was nearly impossible, or very few teams have ever done it. So the fact that they did that was crazy. I believe this was the one where LeBron blocked Iguodala, I think it was, at the rim, and then went back to score, or something like that. It was a crazy moment. That was one of my favorite moments. Alright, we're going to the very hard category. Here we go. Question number 16. Who was the first player to be unanimously voted NBA MVP? So for the season, who was the first player to be unanimously voted NBA MVP? Now apparently there's like first place votes and like second place votes, I guess, and maybe third place votes. This person won 100% of the first place votes. So everyone who voted thought this player should win that award that year. So this person played exceptionally well and far ahead and more than every other player in that league. I'll let you think about it. I'll get some water. Nice. Alright, answers are locked. The answer is the player that's unanimously voted for NBA. This sentence makes no sense. The first player to be unanimously voted for NBA MVP is Stephen Curry. And just like the last question, what season did he do it? 2016. Where the Warriors went 7-3-9, which was the best regular season record ever. That is actually kind of crazy. You only win 9 times. I can count that on 2 hands. They won 73 times. I wonder who actually beat them those 9 times. They must be very, very proud of themselves that they got a win. It's kind of like Arsenal, for football terms, soccer football, who went undefeated in 2004, around there. I forget which year it was. Imagine going undefeated in basketball, though. A lot more games. Alright, question number 17. Excuse me. Which NBA team drafted Dirk Nowitzki? Who was a great player. Kind of reminds me of Jokic in the sense that they're both big men, but they score a lot and they carry their teams. Was a very, very good player. Which NBA team drafted him? I will give you a hint similar to the Kobe Bryant hint. It's not the one you think. It is not the one you think. It's not that team. I know what you're thinking of. It's not that team. I know. You're like, no way, it has to be that team. It's not that team. This is a similar situation where this Dirk did not play for this team. They were traded on draft night. And this always hurts me. Imagine being the team that traded away a player like Dirk Nowitzki, Kobe Bryant. Oh my goodness. Answers are locked. The team that drafted Dirk Nowitzki is the Milwaukee Bucks. I did not know that. I can't believe they fumbled that so hard. At least they didn't trade Giannis. At least they didn't draft Giannis and trade him. At least they did something right. Yeah, and then he was later traded to Dallas on trade night, and he won NBA MVP in 2007 and Finals MVP in 2011. Nice. Alright, question number 18. Who is NBA's all-time leading scorer? And bonus points if you tell me what year they surpassed the previous top scorer. And I will give you another hint. Or I'll give you a hint. The player that was passed was Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So which player did it? And then what was the year that he passed the record? And then another bonus point. No, actually no, because I was going to say, if you tell me how much points they have now, but by the time you watch this video, it's going to be different from the time another person watches the video and the next person watches the video. So, alright, answers are locked. Question number 18. Who is NBA's all-time leading scorer? LeBron James. It's LeBron James. And he's still performing well. I like to think of Ronaldo like LeBron James and Messi like Steph Curry. Messi, Steph Curry on the same team for majority of their career. And then a player like Ronaldo and LeBron James went to different teams and played well in those different teams. Which is why maybe I like Ronaldo and LeBron James over Messi and Curry. I'm sorry, I'm just speaking facts, and what I say is the truth, and your opinion is wrong. I'm just kidding. Alright. And the year was February 2023. So it's been 3 years since he broke that record. And I don't know if anyone's going to reach that. Just like Wilt Chamberlain's record. I don't know if people are going to be able to beat this record. We'll see. Alright. Second last question. Which team won the first NBA championship? Who won the first one? I will give you 1 point for the full name and a half a point if you get the city. So that's my hint, because I think most, if not all, maybe not all, but most teams back then changed their name, or they don't exist anymore. So which team won the very, very first NBA championship? For 0.25 points, I'll give you a hint. The city is the team that Kawhi Leonard scored the crazy buzzer beater in 2019 to help the Raptors move on, I think, to the finals, right? Or was it? I think it was the finals. Buzzer beater in Game 7. Answers are locked. The team that won the first NBA championship was the Philadelphia Warriors. So they weren't the 76ers. Wait, did the 76ers change their name in 76? Maybe that's a question for a future video. They won the title in 1947, defeating the Chicago Stags. So it wasn't the Bulls. They were known as the Stags back then. Interesting. Alright, the last question, the hardest question. Maybe. Probably not. Depending on your knowledge. Here is the question. Who is the only player in NBA history to average a triple-double for an entire season? More than once. if you're wondering what a triple-double is, it is not an coffee order. It is when you get double digits in 3 different stats. So, 10 points, 10 assists, 10 rebounds is a triple-double. So their averages, every single game, on average, they would score double digits in points, assists, rebounds, blocks, any 3 stats for an entire season. And not only that, more than once. So what is this player's name, and how many years did they do this? Alright, answers. Or you know what? No, here's a hint. In recent years, people have really turned on him, I feel like. And I've been calling him a bad player, especially a couple years ago. But what he did should not be overlooked just because he's older and or is not playing as well. The answer for the only player in NBA history to average a triple-double for an entire season more than once. Oh yeah, also for a bonus point, how many seasons did he do it? I don't know if I said that. Anyway, answer is Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook. I remember when he first started, he was seen as like the bad guy. Because the way he was off the field, and on the field, I think. But he's known as Mr. Triple-Double. And that's important to note because he's done it 4 times in 4 seasons. 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2021. And he won NBA MVP in 2017. Is he better than Michael Jordan? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe. How did you guys do? Did you do well? Well, guess what? There is a bonus question. You know we always do bonus questions. Here is your bonus question for today and the final question. Which NBA player won Finals MVP with 3 different teams? And how many? No, and name of the player, 1 point. 0.5 extra bonus points. Name all 3 teams. Another 0.5 bonus point. How many MVPs did he win with these teams? Not individually, altogether. Does that make sense? Which NBA player won Finals MVP? So this is in the playoffs, not the regular season. Finals MVP with 3 different teams. A player who's clutch. A player who takes the team on his back to win when things seem dire, when things seem like they won't work out. This player shows up and shows out. Answers a lot. The answer for the last question of today, the bonus question, and the answer to who's the greatest of all time, depending who you ask. LeBron James. And he's won it 4 times. And the 3 teams he's done it with is Miami Heat, 2012, 2013. Cleveland Cavaliers, 2016, that crazy season. And then the Lakers, 2020. He won his first Finals MVP 9 years into his career because he was drafted in 2003. That I know. Alright, there you have it. The first ever basketball NBA trivia video. I hope you all enjoyed it. I think that car outside definitely did. If you guys want to leave suggestions and comments about what you liked or what you want suggestions, things to improve future videos, let me know. But most importantly, take care of yourself, love one another, and have a great sleep.